Hi everyone, it's Sean, and we're going to start our first session of going over literary works. If you got the message last week, you understood that we are now going to be going over the work Girl by Jamaica Kincaid. Now, we're not going to read the story over together. That's going to be too time-consuming, but it really is an excellent story. If you haven't read it, by all means, please do. Check out last week's message. There's a link on the bottom. And okay, let's get going. Girl was published, I believe, in 1978, and it was written by Jamaica Kincaid. She's an immigrant to America from the Caribbean, and pretty much what it is a second-person narrative, which means that you, the reader, are being spoken to by the writer directly. And she puts you in the position of a young girl who's really being treated harshly by her mother, maybe her father, an authority figure. It's never clear. But the whole thing is just a series of her being lambasted over and over again throughout this very short work for things she didn't do wrong. She doesn't prepare food right. She dresses like a slut. She doesn't do this right. She doesn't do that right. And yes, that word slut sticks out, doesn't it? Because there is some harsh language in this story. There is some unpleasant misogynistic language in this story, and that's what makes it so biting. Some people in this day and age may not like that element of Girl because it is brutal and it is unfair, and so we have to ask ourselves, why did Jamaica Kincaid put those words, put those attacks in the story? Well, I think there's probably some truthfulness to them, that there are people that do talk like this, and it's a writer's responsibility to address the real world. But mainly, I think she wants us to understand how painful it is to be at the receiving end of such brutality. Brutality doesn't always have to be physical. So she wants us to know what it's like to be scorned and spoken to and put down to in all variety of ways. Not just for the little things we do in life, but for major things, calling into question our morality. And it's done clearly in the story by someone who's very self-righteous and yet doesn't see the damage they're doing to the reader. And when they say stories like this are powerful, are applauded, that's why. Because Jamaica Kincaid is showing us humanity. She's showing us humanity. If you notice, she never does say much about the person who's having to listen to all this, the person that you, the reader, are in the position of. We don't know. We just know that however the narrator is going about trying to straighten her out, it's not working. It's actually wrong. It should be done another way. And so instead of just going on and saying, listen, don't talk to your daughters this way, don't treat people this way, be more respectful of women, she shows you the damage that it does. And that sort of thing is very powerful when it comes to writing. And creative writing can make a point in a very, very memorable way, like Jamaica Kincaid did here. Okay, these are going to be brief as I promised. And next 2 weeks actually, there's going to be another brief story. It's also going to be harsh, but in a different way. It's Ernest Hemingway's The Killers. Chilling story in its own right. But not all these stories are going to be doom and gloom. Believe me, there's some very upbeat stuff that we're going to be going over soon. But I want you to get a taste of all different kinds of writers, all different kinds of writing. It will help you as a writer. It will help you as a critical thinker. And honestly, these stories are satisfying. So until we meet again, enjoy.